So hello, Dustin. Thank you so much for
Hey
joining
there.
me.
Yeah, no problem.
So we're going to have a chat about your amazing short film, Samaritan. Congratulations, by the way. I know it's already won and had a few successes. So Bolton International Film Festival,
Yep, we've been at
yeah,
Bolton.
and then Exit Six. You were both. Oh no, and then you were an official award winner in Southern Shorts. How did that feel?
Good. I think it was actually a nomination there.
Okay.
They do a bunch. Southern Shorts Awards is kind of different. They do a bunch of kind of like honorary awards that are mentioning that aren't necessarily like the competitive thing. So if you score high enough in a certain category, they'll just kind of give you a little certificate for it. But in the competitive side of things, we were nominated for production design, cinematography, and editing. We didn't win either of those three, but it's great to be nominated.
Yeah, of course, always. It's just recognition, isn't it, of all your hard work.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, it's good.
Do you want to give like a, I don't know, a brief little spiel on what Samaritan is about?
Yeah, so the basic concept is there's this doctor who is an immigrant to the UK, and because of uh, the country turning more anti-immigrant, he's kind of been fed up with society, so he decides to move out in the middle of nowhere and live off grid and just be completely sustainable, self-sustainable living away from society. And one day in the middle of the woods, he stumbles upon an unconscious body out of nowhere, takes the man home to nurse him, and figures out that he is a kind of a racist politician character who was responsible for some of the anti-immigrant rhetoric that made him kind of flee the city and isolate himself. So yeah, it's kind of two very opposing characters in tight quarters, and the questions of would you care for your enemy, kind of is what arises from it.
Mhm. At the beginning of the film, there's a really strong quote
Yes.
before anything starts. I won't give away what it is in case people haven't seen it yet. Can you tell me a bit about that? Is that what kind of sparked your inspiration for these really strong themes at the moment in the film?
In a way, I mean, the themes are themes that have been with me a while. And with my background with filmmaking, I typically make a lot of films around specific topics. I have a previous film about healthcare, one about gun ownership and women's rights in the US and kind of that situation. So yeah, I was wanting to make more of some statements on kind of the immigration situation, and there's also some allusions in the film to the climate crisis as well. So yeah, those themes were really important for me to discover, and things that I've been weighing on my mind for a while. The motivation was that there was a grant called the Uncertain Kingdom Grant that was started in, I think, early 2019.
Okay.
And basically, it was all for projects that were having to do with how we don't really know what's going to happen in the future. So, show us visions of what could happen in the future. And we used that as kind of um, showing the end result of how Brexit type decisions could affect healthcare workers and that are immigrants and things like that. So yeah, so that's a long answer.
No, no, it's because the themes are so relevant, especially in 2020 throughout the film. Obviously, with Black Lives Matter, there's some similarities there as well, and
Mhm.
also immigration, refugees, all of that. So, I don't know, when did you have that going through your mind when you were making the final touches to the script and developing the short film?
So we shot in late 2019, so it was kind of, pre-COVID and obviously before all the George Floyd
Okay, so
stuff happened
pre
in
all of that.
America.
Interesting.
So,
A
so yeah,
coincidence.
so we shot it all before. Um, and yeah, the world has changed quite a bit since then. I think, there's obviously been in the UK a lot of anti-Muslim rhetoric for anti-Muslim immigration. So we were more, I think, spinning off of that rather than a BLM platform.
Mm.
But yeah, I mean, it's sad to see that in a 2020 world, how much prejudice and racism is relevant. It shouldn't be as relevant as it unfortunately is.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And when you were shooting, can you tell me a bit about that? Did you have any setbacks? How long did you shoot for, location and things?
Mhm. Yeah, so it was a 3-day shoot out in kind of on a self-sustainable farm
Three
that was
days?
yeah, we did 3 days in the north of England.
Wow.
There's some scenes that take place in London. That was a separate pickup day that we did. So 4 days in total, but it was the majority of the film was shot over those 3 days. And yeah, the location was great. That was probably the biggest holdup to get from in our pre-production was trying to find the perfect location.
Mhm.
And luckily, yeah, I had a friend that stayed on that farm that was visiting from the States, and they stayed on the farm and then came to visit us afterwards, and they were telling me about it. So I was like, oh, you got to introduce me to these people on this farm, and I need a location like that. So yeah, they were absolutely great. They're very down to earth, hippie type. They have all the production design that you see in the film, like the garden and the solar panels
Yeah.
and all that was just built in. So it was perfect.
Wow. I still can't get over the fact you shot it in 3 days. I'm gonna have to watch it again now with that in mind. That's
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, I worked with a great crew. Yeah, my cinematographer Josh, he's really great at delivering some really amazing work very quickly. So that makes it
Yeah.
very impressive. So we can just keep going with the flow.
That was my next question, actually. So, your crew, are these people that you know, you trust, you work with them quite a lot? You're kind of like a little team?
Yeah, so different things to different degrees. There was obviously some crew that Samaritan was my first time working with them. There was some other people that I'd worked with a couple times before. The My fellow producers of the film, Adi Raja, who is an NHS doctor, developed a story with me, and so he brought in a lot of the healthcare authenticity and a lot of that angle. And we worked previously on a film called Nora, which was in TweetFest a couple years ago. And that was all part of a TED Talk, TEDx NHS. And it was all about kind of a commentary about the condition of the NHS around the NHS's 70th birthday. So it was great to get the opportunity to collaborate with him again. My other fellow producer, Nikki Brighton, was an actress in that. And then so this was my first time working with her as producer. So it was great to have, the three of us as kind of a tight knit little team to handle a lot of the administrative stuff. But it was my first time working with Josh, our DOP, but it certainly won't be the last.
Absolutely. And what was the casting process like? I must admit, your lead guy, he has the most subtle intensity I think I've ever seen on screen.
Yeah, he's very intense. He has kind of I look at it as kind of like a Mark Strong look. He's got
Yeah.
that kind of presence. I met him through Twitter. I'm not one for big elaborate castings and things like that. I like much more. I think you get a better response from people. You actually can see what their true talent is if you look at their previous work rather than just getting them in a room with like a cold read or something like that.
Yeah.
So I saw his reel on Twitter, and then yeah, sent him a direct message. Met him in a coffee shop. Kind of just chatted about the film, chatted about what he thought, and just kind of generally see if you can flow together on set. And yeah, that was part of my. It's typically how I like to cast things, is a little
Yeah.
bit more low key rather than kind of the pressure of an audition.
Yeah, no, I'm really getting a good vibe on how you work and things like that, which is going to be interesting for the viewers. Um, so you're originally from the States, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So I presume your film career started over there. What brought you over to the UK?
So my wife is from the UK, and we met when she was in LA, and then she had to come back for immigration reasons back to the UK. So it was kind of a decision of should she move to the States or should I move here? And there was just a lot of reasons that made UK a bit more attractive. The NHS with healthcare. I mean, it was right after Trump got elected, and I was just kind of
Yeah.
over the political situation in the States.
Don't blame you. I mean, is it that much better over here at the moment? I don't know, but we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, the UK has its issues, but kind of the way I see it is the UK is more in their Bush era years, if you know anything about American politics. So like Trump is just was just next level crazy, and I
It's
just
pretty extreme. I mean,
it's good to get out of there.
yeah, I mean, I was a student in New York,
Mm,
but I was there when Obama was president. So I don't know. With my experience have been dramatically different. It's just you never know. Anyway, we
yeah,
digress.
yeah.
Um, but okay, so if obviously there are going to be a lot of viewers for your film, and I'm so excited because they're in for such a treat. What would you like people to take from it?
So the film is really a conversation opener. Since people haven't seen it yet, I won't give away the ending, but the ending is really a question. There's a narrative story that resolves, but then it ends on a question, and it's more flipping it on the audience, where you're reflecting in the same way that the lead character is reflecting, asking audiences what is their responsibility as individuals in the society that we live in. So it's definitely that mirror to society, and I think kind of the purpose of art isn't necessarily to answer all those questions or tell people exactly how to feel or what to believe. I think it's more about opening up that conversation, and that's really the point that we end the film on. Is here's a scenario that got out of hand, that's crazy and dramatic within this narrative. What would you do if you found yourself in that, and how does it relate to your life right now?
Yeah, yeah, that's really powerful, and it's definitely one of those films which kind of like swings around your brain after you've seen it.
Yeah, I typically like to make films very layered, and that can be kind of a double-edged sword when you're doing shorts.
Yeah.
Some of the most successful shorts are really successful because they're so refined in their themes and
Mhm.
their stories. It's just simple. It's just like, a simple concept, a setup, a conclusion, boom, nice and tight. I really love texture and nuance and all those things, and trying to cram all that into a short can overwhelm a short very easily.
Yeah.
So I'm always trying to find that balance of delivering a little bit more than your typical short, while at the same time not feeling like completely overloaded with 11 minutes of heavy content.
Yeah, and then like not being able to do anything else for the rest of the day, just kind of like, oh. Oh wow. So what's next? What project are you going to work on next?
So I have a film that's wrapping up post-production right now. So in 2019, I was lucky enough to shoot 3 short films, and 2 of them, Samaritan is one, that are on the festival circuit right now. The other one's wrapping up, so that'll be released at some point in 2021.
Great.
And then I'm really trying to make the jump from shorts to features.
Okay.
So I've got my first feature about a third of the way shot, and we're looking for completion funds for that. So we're kind of developing all the pitches around that. I'm also developing Samaritan into a feature film.
I read
Uh,
this. Yeah,
yeah,
I wanted to ask you. That's so exciting. What a treat.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it is very exciting. We were very lucky to get Samaritan picked up by the Climate Story Lab, which is run by the BFI Network and Exposure Labs and the Doc Society. And through some connections there, we kind of, got the idea that, there's more legs to this. We could turn this into a feature. So we've been able to pitch it a couple interesting places, and hopefully we'll just find the right home for it and
Yeah.
get it financed. That's the big part.
Yeah. Give us all the money.
Yeah, I know it's going to be an uphill battle, I think, with the current economy situation, but we're hopeful.
Yeah. Oh, that's so exciting, Dustin. Cool. Okay, so I'm going to end with a few quick fire questions.
Great.
That's okay. Cool.
Yeah.
So, what advice would you give to a filmmaker wanting to make a short film?
Wanting to make a short film. So my biggest thing is I see so many people spinning their wheels, wanting whatever their first thing is to be absolutely perfect. It's never going to be perfect. You know, I'm very happy with Samaritan. I think it's my best film to date. I still don't think it's perfect. You know what I mean? So if your ego's so fragile that you don't want to show your early work because it's not good enough, you're never going to grow as a filmmaker. So make it if it's imperfect, show it.
Love it. Next one. What makes a short film great for you?
So I love twists. I love watching something that I think I'm watching one film and then by the end of it I realize I'm watching another film. I love that format in short films and I think it works great.
Cool. And what film has been the most influential to you and why? Doesn't have to be a short, could be a feature.
Whew. So many, so many. Yeah, like I guess one of the big ones that comes to mind would be Paul Thomas Anderson's Magnolia. I absolutely love that film in so many different ways. I mean, that's not a there's no quick fire answer. I could talk about an hour about that film.
Love it. Thank you so much, Dustin.
Thank you.
And everybody, enjoy the film. You're in for a treat.
All right. Thanks for watching, everybody, and thanks for having me at the
I've heard it said that we're all just temporary passengers on this spaceship called Earth, and that nature will go on to recover without us after we're gone. I aim to be a good passenger, one that doesn't set fire to the ship, causing it to sink. I honour the life that helped sustain my life, a life that I wasted in the city once.
Meanwhile, the stalemate in Parliament continues. MPs still vehemently disagree on how to implement the people's decision to leave.
Why don't you go back to where you came from?
After Harrington's absence from Parliament, his family are now reporting that he has gone missing.